If you're a real estate agent and you're still chasing leads manually, calling, texting, following up over and over again, there's a smarter way. Today, I'm going to show you what's now possible using AI and how you can use it to book more listing appointments without lifting a finger. Let's be real, the traditional way of following up with online leads is broken. Most agents call once, maybe twice, and then give up. Leads don't answer, or worse, they ghost you. And suddenly you're left wondering if online leads even work. But it's not the leads, it's the lag in your process. And the fact that most agents just don't have the time to follow up. And that's actually not even your fault. But here's the shift. Your speed to lead and consistency of follow-up are everything. If you don't follow up in the first 60 seconds, odds of conversion drop fast. If you don't nurture across days, weeks, and even months, you're leaving deals on the table. This is where AI steps in. What if you had a system, an AI inside sales assistant that automatically engages every new lead instantly, has a real human-like conversations, qualifies the lead, and books the appointment directly to your calendar? We have built exactly that. It's called AI ISA, and it's changing the game for our agents. This isn't some future thing, this is now. Our real estate agents are waking up to calendars full of seller consults without doing anything manually. No cold calling, no lead chasing, no burned out ISAs. The AI works 24/7. It never forgets to follow up. It never gets tired. And it does not complain. Here's the best part. You can build the system yourself if you got the time and the tools. Or you can shortcut the process and have us build it for you. The same way we have done now for over 400 agents across the US and Canada, help them attract, nurture, and convert seller leads online to listings. But today, let me show you what does this AI agent and the very first listing acquisition process actually look like. I'll jump onto my screen now and walk you through the AI ISA as well as the very first listing acquisition process that attracts, nurtures, and converts leads to listings, and how you can start using it in your business today. Now that we are on my screen, we're going to be diving into the very first listing acquisition process: attraction, nurture, convert. How to attract, nurture, convert leads to listings consistently online. That's pretty much the topic today. Now, let's first dive into the attraction piece. Basically, what we have here, as you can see, we have a call booking funnel, right? So the goal throughout the whole funnel, as well as throughout the actual process, first is to get a phone consultation scheduled, right? Because the phone consultation, as you will later down learn, is our conversion mechanism inside of this very first listing acquisition process. So that 7-minute phone consultation will be held by or conducted by the real estate agent, and that is the way how we can then convert these leads to actual listing appointments and listings. Now, our one goal for the whole process is to get more listings consistently. In order to do that, we need more listing appointments, we need more conversations with homeowners, and frankly, we need more leads coming in consistently, the right type of leads. Now, the attraction is all about how to attract those leads, how to attract those listing opportunities coming in that we can have more conversations. The way right now that we are doing it is we are running seller attraction ads on platforms like Facebook and Instagram. So we use Meta. And I know there's a bunch of people always like Facebook ads, they suck and they're super low intent and all that stuff, which is true if you don't know what you're doing. But if you do know what you're doing and you have a process that's tailored to actually convert those leads, then they actually are the best platforms right now to get 10x returns as a real estate agent for your advertising dollars. So I highly recommend actually advertising on Facebook and Instagram if you have the process nailed down. So those are the platforms that we're using right now with most of our clients, and those are also the platforms that right now you can get those 10x returns. We're driving the traffic from those ads then to a survey page, as you can see here. So our lead screening qualification process is happening on the survey page. When we ask questions like address of the property, relationship to the property, potential time on the sale, name, phone number, email, SMS, and AI, obviously AI consent, right? Basically, the call from there, once they actually submit the survey, they become a lead. Okay, so the cost per lead, the KPI for us is about $30. So if you spend 1,500 into ads, you should be getting 50 leads if the cost per lead is around $30. So that's the KPI in most of the markets. To be transparent and to be clear, it depends slightly on the market. So if you look at the range, typically we want to say the range being 25 to 35, but our internal team has a $30 CPI KPI for all of the campaign, just to make sure things are working like they should. Then we drive the leads to a booking page, and only about 10% of those leads are converting from this booking page to a booked phone consultation, right? So it has an agent calendar on this booking page, and if they get booked, or if they book the appointment or the consultation from that page, then they will be directed to the thank you page. And at that point, obviously there's SMS and email confirmations and reminders, but then at that point, this lead would be straight away transferred to the convert stage of this process, right? More about that stage in a minute. If they do not book the appointment, which about 90% of the leads want, they will be transferred to the nurture step in this actual process. So this is pretty much the attraction piece. So the goal on this attraction piece is to get seller leads in that actually we can have a conversation with and turn them into listing appointments. So that's pretty much it. Generating consistent seller leads under the within the KPI goal, right? That's the attraction piece, filling up the pipelines and all that stuff. Now we move on to the nurture piece. So in the nurture piece, this is all about like, okay, how can we get those leads to the convert piece with us? AKA, how can we get those leads to engage and open up to us, right? And increase the trust element there so that we can get them on the phone with us and have those conversations, right? So that's pretty much it when we like really dumb it down and simplify it. So how it works here is that obviously out of those leads that came in and opted in, if only about 10% of them actually booked the consultation from the booking page, then that means we have 90% of the leads that didn't book, right? So obviously that's a huge portion of your leads that are coming in, and we need to have a process nailed down for these people. And this is normally where the money is made, right? So all these 90% of the leads that didn't come in or didn't book the consults automatically, like on their end, then this is where the magic happens and where the money is really made. So this is the lead conversion, the first stages, right? Nurturing them. So we have an SMS AI Ashley that actually is engaging with those and getting some of those into booked phone consults with the actual real estate agent, right? And then in case they do not have the AI ISA, so if they have only the SMS AI, then in that case, if the SMS AI wasn't able to book the appointment with those leads, obviously whether they didn't reply or they just didn't book, or after they did reply, then there is a process in place for the actual real estate agent to go in and call the leads, call again if no pickups, continue to follow up, email, send a text, all that stuff. We have a whole online lead follow-up process in place in terms of increasing the lead conversion at that stage, getting them on the phone, right? And then from there, actually, once we are able to get them on the phone, the agent is then getting them into the convert section or stage of this process. Now, if they do have the AI ISA, right? If they do have the AI ISA on the platform, pretty much that handles all of the follow-up and chasing and nurturing and all that stuff for the agent in that case. Because basically, if they didn't book, the lead didn't book through the booking page, or SMS AI was engaging and trying to get them booked, then the AI Ashley, so the voice AI, the AI ISA will actually go in and continue the follow-up, right? So the first day they will call a couple of times, and then they will continue to follow up daily, right? And they do double dials. So how it works is that if they do pick up the phone and they book the appointment, obviously that AI Ashley will then send notifications, summaries, all that stuff to the real estate agents and get them booked. But then if they didn't, they will also leave notes and information and everything to this agent. If they do not book the appointment, it will continue to follow up, the first week, pretty much daily, and then we go into day 14, day 30, day 50, day 70, day 90, and then obviously the real estate agent as well as the AI ISA can do database reactivations pretty much every 2 to 3 months. So and once they do pick up, and if they book the phone consultation, they will set up the appointment onto the calendar, leave notes, reminders, all that stuff. And if they didn't, you know, they will still leave notes and summaries and all that stuff. And once it's booked, it will go into the convert phase. So this is all about like getting those leads that didn't book from the booking page to engage and increase the trust, intent, motivation as well, and then getting them to the phone consultation with the real estate agent so that we can actually follow the framework that we know about to go into. So basically, once we get in the convert stage of the process, this is where we have the 7-minute phone consultation as the conversion mechanism. So agent is using this to call, obviously when they're calling the leads, and they are going in and following the framework. And then if they are able to set the in-person appointment, they're going in and doing a walkthrough and in-person CMA appointments, and that is then turned into a listing presentation, which then into signed listing, right? So we have the whole process here for the convert phase laid out. So from phone consultation to in-person appointment, that's like walkthrough / in-person CMA, and then that turns into listing presentation, and we turn that into signed listing, and then eventually we sell that, right? So pretty simple, straightforward process. Now, obviously, if they do not set the appointments, they go and put in their short-term or long-term follow-ups depending on the leads, and then they're just like, it's a flywheel that loops back into scheduling the appointments. Now, when we look at the conversions here, pretty much 10% on the phone to in-person appointment is like the goal there. So basically what that means is about 10% of all the leads that are coming in should be set into an in-person appointment of all the leads. So all the leads that are coming in here, all of those to in-person appointments, that's about 10% of these conversions of this step. So the nurture obviously about 30%, and then this 33%, which then equals to about 10% out of all of the leads. So that already in itself is much more higher than the industry average. So those are like the bare minimums that we look at, like the KPIs, or like the where we first want to get to with real estate agents, and then from there to listing presentations and listings. Now, not obviously every single appointment will turn into listing presentation, and not every listing presentation will turn into signed listing, which is why then we need to have the follow-up process in place for the real estate agent to actually go in and provide more value, build a relationship, and then getting that follow-up meeting set and the listing signed. So this is really super duper manual things for the real estate agent, because those are super personalized and, you know, have to have the human connection there. If like there's no shows, we have to do double dials, we have to do all that stuff when it comes to phone consultation. But the most important thing here really at this phase, when it comes to the 7-minute phone consultation and no shows, people who don't pick up the phone when you're calling them, is like they requested this information. So even when it comes to a scheduled call, like in this case, they even request a scheduled call to go over the information, and I must get this information to them, or I'm doing this service to them, right? Did something bad happen, or is there an issue on my end because not getting the info through, etc., etc. This is a belief that we need to have. Otherwise, we feel like it's like, okay, we're just like, you know, hounding them and spamming them and all that stuff when we're doing all this follow-up. But no, actually, you're trying to give them the information they requested. So that's the key. So these are the 3 steps when it comes to the value first listing acquisition process. We have the attraction, we have the nurture, and then we have the convert. All of these phases has to be nailed down and in place in order for the process to work, right? So we have the marketing process, and we have the sales process and the conversion process in order to create an acquisition process. And if you look at the metrics here, basically, what do we have those here? See, cost per lead, $30 is the KPI, cost per conversation, $90, cost per in-person appointment, $300, cost per acquisition, $1,500. When we look at the metrics, conversion metrics, I'm just explaining you what it looks like from ad spend perspective. And then lead to conversation, 30%, conversation to in-person about 30%, which means that about 10% of all the leads coming in should go into in-person appointment, and in-person to listing at 20%, meaning 50 leads equal 13 to 17 consultations equals to 5 in-person appointments and 1 listing. And here's calculation that you can use in order to understand how much ad spend you need in order to scale up or get to your goals. So that's the value first listing acquisition process. Now, I will go over in the next couple minutes here, I'll go over the more in-depth AI ISA as well. So that's what we are going to be diving in right now. So the AI ISA process, that's what we are going to go over right now. So obviously, when we look at the attraction, we look at the nurture and the convert. When it comes to the attraction piece, there's the 10% who booked the appointment or the consultation from the booking page, meaning 90% of them didn't, of the leads that came in. And then we have the SMS AI who's contacting those leads within 30 seconds, but there's a lot of leads still who either don't reply to the SMS AI or don't book the appointment or the consultation or SMS. There's multiple reasons why. One of them, for example, is that it's just much easier to get the next step set, meeting, consultation, when you're actually on the phone with these people. And on average, it takes about 8 to 12 touch points in order to get a opt-in lead to scheduled onto the next step, which in this case would be the phone consultation, and then the in-person appointment, etc. So if you don't have the AI ISA installed, that means the real estate agent, you are the one who's doing all the heavy lifting, calling them right away when they come in, following up them every day, and then continue to follow up and provide value and nurture and all that stuff, emailing, texting, calling, all that. But if you do have the AI ISA installed, pretty much that's like the AI ISA is the one who's handling that. They are handling the calling. So when a lead comes in and they don't book from the booking page, or they don't book through the SMS AI, in that case, the AI ISA is going in and calling those leads within the first couple of minutes when they come in, if they weren't booked already. Okay, so they're calling and they continue to call if they don't pick up. So let's look at this. If they don't pick up the phone, the first couple of days they will call a couple times and they will double dial, and then the first 7 days we'll call every single day. Then we go in and we call on the 14th day 30, day 50, day 70, day 90. So the AI ISA is continuing to follow out the first 90 days, and it's just like never ending in that case. Also, on top of that, there's possibilities to do database reactivations with the AI ISA, even after that, and every 2 to 3 months, plus the real estate agent, I highly recommended to do on top of that those. But we're really squeezing the juice out of the opportunities, and we're really able to find the ones that we are able to help. So we're taking a lead and we getting those to, instead of us actually going in, or the real estate agent going in, chasing all the leads, following up all those leads and trying to get conversations, we're just having conversations with the ones who already talked to our assistant, our AI ISA, or with the phone, right? Or SMS, but in this case over the phone, and getting those to have conversations with us. So we're waking up to calendar with pre-scheduled phone consultations because of the AI ISA did the heavy lifting, right? So it called all the leads. Speed to lead is one of the biggest problems or bottlenecks when it comes to online lead conversion. Speed to lead. So for example, if you try to call a lead after 5 minutes of them opting in, your chances of getting them to the next step drops by 800%. That's crazy. 800%. That's nuts. So in this case, the AI ISA is making sure that that won't happen on your account, right? That won't happen on your leads. And then the other thing is like, people aren't just following up enough. Like, we stop after first or second or maybe third follow-up. But it actually takes 8 to 12 touch points in order to get them to even have a conversation with you. And we don't follow up that much. So that's just crazy. Now, the AI ISA is doing that for you, right? And once they do pick up, it has the conversation. It always follows the same framework, and it has a real human-like conversation with them. Obviously, human is still better at having more deep and so-called quality conversations when done the right way. But at the same time, when it comes to this, when it comes to online lead conversion, at the first steps, quantity beats quality, right? The more volume there is, the more inputs there is, the more conversations you will have. And it's just like a fact that an AI can beat you when it comes to quantity, when it comes to volume. Now, when we're having those, we're actually having the AI ISA to do the inputs for us. We don't need to do that. We can just have more quality conversations on the phone with these homeowners that the AI ISA have already set up for us to a phone consultation. So we don't lose the human connection. We don't lose the quality conversations or none of that. We actually get more of those because the AI assistant is doing the heavy lifting for us, right? So it's definitely winning you when it comes to the quantity game, when it comes to the volume game in this case. And it is really a numbers game at the first steps when it comes to lead conversion. So it really gives you the possibility to have a more quality conversations with homeowners who are wanting to have a chat with you in that case, which is kind of rare when it comes to online lead gen. Now, jokes aside, now if they do book the phone consult, obviously it gets the appointment set, all that stuff, you know, and notifications, summaries, information notes, all that. If they don't, it also leaves notes, leaves summaries, all that stuff for the real estate agent, for you, and all the good stuff. Now, when it comes to the whole process here, it's pretty much that, right? So it's designed to take a lead, have a genuine conversation with them, get a bit of motivation, and book them onto phone consultation with you. And then you can actually have the phone consultation that is the conversion mechanism in the actual process, right? That being said, I want to really show you the numbers behind that, because if you see here, like the conversion here is about 10%. It actually right now is about 12% on average when doing at scale. However, the most recent clients that we have actually built and launched the AI ISA for, the AI agent that is having these phone conversations and booking them on the phone consultations, I'll show you that it actually has, for example, this one account has booked like 50% of the leads to appointment, to a phone consultation. So here, for example, we can see the AI report on Matthew's account. The first one is test here, but we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 accounts, and you can see AI call outcome or leads. You can see AI call outcome 1, 2, 3, 4 that says booked. So 4 out of 8 leads it booked to a phone consult. Not 4 out of 8 conversations it had, but 4 out of 8 leads. Now, let's look at this. How many conversations did it have? It had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 conversations. No, sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 conversations. 4 out of 6 conversations it booked to a phone consultation, right? To an appointment with the real estate agent. So 66.67% of the conversations it's booking to phone consultations. By the way, this is not the only one, but there's other accounts right now that's getting the same results. It's crazy. So I'm assuming after we did a bit of updates, we pretty much launched a new voices, we launched new follow-up sequences, double dialing, all that stuff, and updated the script and all that. The average will go up because even on these tests, not tests, but these first accounts that we have launched the updates, it's having this crazy result. 50% booking rate on leads that have come in after we launched the updates, and then 67% booking rate on the conversations it had. So yes, the conversions are high. And let's look at one of these leads. So I think I opened up Karen Doa. So let's see if we have her here. Yes, we do. Let me put this. Cool. So we have Karen here, and we can see it came in. Is this Karen? Yes. Great, working on the home estimate now. Before I finish, are there any unique features about your home? Didn't reply to that, okay? So it didn't reply to the SMS AI, so it didn't book within the first couple of minutes through the SMS AI. But what happened here is AI ISA called the lead. So we can see it's 2 minutes, 22 seconds, and it's 27, so it's 25. Yes, so it has called 25 here. So after 2 minutes, they opted in, it called, and then he had a 2-minute conversation that booked into appointment. Let's hear this out.
It's a solid choice. One more thing, just so I can see in what ways we can best serve you. Did you request evaluation for fun, or are you thinking about potentially making a move sometime in the future?
We are. We're thinking about downsizing.
Downsizing, huh? That's quite a move. What's making you consider that, if I may ask?
We're 61 years old.
That makes sense. As we get older, sometimes...
It's working, right? So 50% of the leads that are coming in has booked it has booked 50% of the leads that came in to phone consult with the agent, and 67% of the conversation he had it booked into phone consultation for the agent, so to the next appointment. And that's just nuts, right? And as you can see, it's having conversations. We have all that stuff. It's adding notes. Unfortunately, I'm not gonna show you that because it will show like the address and all that stuff. And it's leaving the notes, summaries, all that stuff. it's having conversations. It's nuts. It's really cool. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And that's how it works. Now, if you want us to install the value first listing acquisition process into your business and potentially even build you the AISA on top of that, now granted that it's an upgrade that you can get once you are a private client, but if you want us to install the value first listing acquisition process into your business so that you can attract, nurture, and convert more leads to listings consistently, and that way grow and scale your business, then click the link in the description. There's a link to another video that goes over again the process as well as the 2 reasons why it works so damn well, plus results, all that stuff that you probably wanna see and hear of the over 400 agents at this point. But go check it out, click the link in the description, and after you've done that, there's a schedule an interview button. Click that, schedule your call with my team, and they're gonna walk you through the game plan and see if we could potentially help you get more listings and grow your business. Now, that's pretty much it. Go click that, go watch it, schedule a call with my team, and if nothing else, I'll see you on the next one. Ciao.